The night carried secrets that even the heavens paused to witness. Energies shifted quietly while the world slept, unseen yet undeniable. Some forces moved in patterns invisible to most, stirring the very threads of destiny. Tonight you are invited to step beyond ordinary perception, to sense what many cannot, and to recognize the subtle movements that ripple through life and spirit. Last night was not ordinary. Archangels themselves observed with astonishment, yet few noticed the subtle changes unfolding in their own lives. These were not signs written in storms or loud events, but whispers in the currents of energy, micro moments that could awaken the inner master within those prepared to see. In this video, you will learn how to recognize these hidden shifts, how to align your mind, body, and spirit to the energies that surround you, and how even subtle, unseen events can become catalysts for profound transformation. You will discover principles drawn from Shaolin teachings, ancient wisdom, and mindfulness practices that empower you to become conscious of forces shaping your life before they become visible. By the end, you will understand how to step into the flow of unseen guidance, embody personal mastery, and respond with clarity and power when the unexpected arrives. Stay with me, because the knowledge revealed tonight is rarely shared, and its impact is immediate, deep, and awakening. Every moment holds the potential for insight, but only those who are present, disciplined, and aware can grasp it. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Subscribe now and join a community of seekers who are ready to awaken, understand, and master the energies moving quietly around us. Here, you will learn to see beyond what is obvious and embrace the unseen forces guiding your path. In the stillness between heartbeats, the universe whispers its secrets. The mind, when restless and cluttered, cannot perceive the subtle currents that flow beneath life's surface. Shaolin masters have long taught that true power does not come from endless motion or outward striving, but from the quiet center within, a place where thought and action meet in perfect harmony. Consider the bamboo in the wind. It bends, it sways, yet it is rooted, unmoving at its core. So too must we cultivate inner stillness. When the mind slows, when the breath deepens, we begin to notice what was always present but hidden. The delicate shifts in energy, the small signs that guide destiny, the quiet messages from forces greater than ourselves. These are the truths that the restless mind cannot see, but the attentive spirit can feel. Daily mindfulness becomes the key to this awareness. A simple pause, a conscious breath, a moment spent observing without judgment, each is a doorway to perception. The Shaolin way teaches that even in the midst of motion, one can maintain stillness, like a calm lake reflecting the moon. Through practice, the subtle vibrations of the unseen world become clear. Patterns emerge. Guidance becomes perceptible. Decisions gain depth. Stillness is not emptiness. It is not passivity. It is a living, breathing presence that sharpens the senses, aligns the spirit, and allows the body to move with precision and grace. The quiet mind becomes a lantern, illuminating the hidden layers of reality. The energies that swirl unnoticed around us reveal themselves to those who sit, breathe, and simply pay attention. Here, in this sacred silence, the gateway to awareness opens, and the chosen ones step closer to mastery. In the quiet corners of life, the smallest choices carry the weight of mountains. Each thought, each gesture, each breath forms a thread in the tapestry of the soul. Ancient masters understood this deeply, that mastery is not born from grand gestures or sudden revelations, but from the careful weaving of countless micro-moments, lived with awareness and intention. Last night, unseen forces moved gently around the world, nudging those attuned to the subtle rhythms of life. These were not dramatic events, but whispers, small opportunities to align, to pause, to choose with clarity. The chosen ones, those sensitive to the currents of energy, felt these nudges. Every conscious decision, no matter how minor it seemed, became a step toward deeper harmony and understanding. Consider the ripple of a stone cast into a still pond. Its circle expands far beyond the point of impact. So too do the micro-moments of mastery ripple through life. A kind word offered, a moment of self-discipline, a breath held with focus, each one sets in motion unseen changes that shape not only the day but the evolution of spirit. The events of last night may already be influencing these ripples, guiding the mind, body, and heart toward alignment in ways still invisible. Reflection becomes a tool for recognition. By turning inward, observing the subtle consequences of small actions, the mind learns to see the hidden patterns in life. Ancient traditions speak of these micro-moments as the seeds of mastery, invisible at first, yet destined to grow into profound insight and skill. Awareness of them cultivates patience, discipline, and a quiet power that does not shout but resonates deeply within. In embracing the significance of each fleeting instant, the path of mastery unfolds, one deliberate, mindful moment at a time. The body holds the memory of the mind, and the mind shapes the currents of the spirit. In Shaolin practice, every stance, every movement, every breath is more than physical exercise. It is a language of alignment. Posture, breath, and thought are woven together, creating a thread of energy that flows seamlessly through body and soul. When these elements are in harmony, the spirit opens to currents that are usually invisible, and the unseen world begins to speak with clarity. Imagine a tree rooted deeply in the earth. Its trunk is straight, its branches balanced, its leaves responsive to the gentlest wind. The Shaolin master cultivates the same within: a rooted posture, a steady breath, a focused mind. Misalignment in any of these areas causes friction, resistance, and distraction. But when body, mind, and spirit move in synchrony, energy flows freely, and perception deepens. Subtle signals, shifts in the environment, intuitions, or guidance from higher consciousness become discernible. Daily practice strengthens this alignment. Standing silently in proper posture, observing the rise and fall of breath, and letting thoughts settle without force, one cultivates a channel of energy that is clear and receptive. Gentle movement, flowing sequences, or mindful stretching can harmonize tension, allowing energy to circulate with ease. Even simple rituals, breathing with intention before sleep, aligning the spine in quiet meditation, or pausing to feel the heart's rhythm, nurture this delicate balance. Energy alignment is not an end, but a practice, a living discipline that deepens with each moment. It is in these daily efforts that mastery grows quietly, imperceptibly. By tending to posture, breath, and thought with care, the body becomes a vessel, the mind a mirror, and the spirit a compass. The unseen currents of life no longer pass unnoticed. They are recognized, understood, and integrated. Through alignment, one learns not only to exist, but to flow consciously within the subtle rhythms that shape destiny. There are moments when the quiet mind senses something beyond the ordinary, a presence or a guidance that feels both intimate and vast. Celestial beings, archangels, and higher energies observe not with distance but with attentive care, noticing even the smallest shifts in human consciousness. Every intention, every moment of clarity, every act of inner discipline is registered in ways unseen, and these subtle awakenings ripple outward, drawing attention from realms often thought inaccessible. Even minor breakthroughs can astonish the higher realms. A mind disciplined to notice, a heart attuned to compassion, a spirit willing to still itself. These are sparks of mastery that echo far beyond their visible effects. Archangels witness the courage it takes for humans to awaken incrementally, to choose awareness over distraction, to hold presence in a world of noise. What may seem like ordinary reflection or quiet meditation can, from their perspective, be extraordinary feats of alignment and growth. Openness becomes the key. Intuition, subtle nudges, synchronicities, and fleeting impressions are all invitations to listen and respond. These signals often arrive in forms we might overlook: a sudden insight, a pattern repeating in life, an unexpected encounter, or even a feeling that cannot yet be named. The disciplined mind, grounded in practice, recognizes them. The cultivated heart discerns their meaning. The aware spirit is ready to follow their guidance. Ancient wisdom teaches that true mastery is not only skill over the self, but attunement to the unseen currents that guide life. By remaining receptive, by practicing patience and observation, The chosen ones align with a flow that bridges the human and the divine. Each acknowledgement of this guidance strengthens the connection. Each conscious response builds the bridge wider, and in doing so, humans touch the potential that astonishes even the most exalted beings. To see the invisible, one must first become quiet enough to perceive it. Discipline is often mistaken for strict control or forceful restriction. Yet true discipline flows quietly, like water shaping stone. It is not the loud imposition of will, but the gentle, consistent cultivation of attention, awareness, and intention. Shaolin masters have long understood this. Mastery arises from repeated mindful practice, not from occasional bursts of effort. Each moment of focus, each breath held with awareness, each deliberate posture strengthens the inner foundation upon which the soul can rise. In modern mindfulness, this principle remains the same. Daily rituals, even small ones, create a rhythm that aligns body, mind, and spirit. Sitting in meditation, observing the ebb and flow of thought, or engaging in a mindful task with full presence, all become acts of sacred discipline. Over time, these small, consistent practices deepen resilience, sharpen intuition, and heighten sensitivity to the subtle energies that shape life. Discipline, therefore, is not a constraint. It is the tool through which mastery reveals itself. Sometimes, the world presents shocks, sudden, unseen shifts that disturb the familiar rhythm. These moments are not interruptions, but invitations. They call for greater attention, a steadier mind, and a heart trained to respond rather than react. The energies that moved last night, though unnoticed by many, may be stirring beneath the surface, prompting the chosen ones to refine their focus, strengthen their practice, and deepen their inner alignment. Through disciplined awareness, the mind learns to flow with the unseen currents instead of resisting them. Every conscious action, repeated over time, becomes a foundation for understanding, a quiet power that grows imperceptibly yet unshakably. Discipline transforms the ordinary into sacred practice, and each mindful repetition strengthens the bridge between what is visible and what lies beyond perception. In this way, the shocks of life are not obstacles, but guides, shaping those who are ready to walk the path of mastery. There is a quiet strength in watching without holding, in witnessing without grasping. True observation begins when the mind releases the need to control, judge, or label what arises. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the world is ever moving, full of subtle energies and fleeting moments, yet most people pass through life reacting to what they see, unaware of the currents beneath the surface. The ability to observe without attachment is a skill of mastery, a discipline of the spirit that cultivates clarity and freedom. Last night, countless energies shifted around the world, subtle and invisible to the hurried mind. For most, these movements went unnoticed because reaction replaced reflection. The eyes may see, but the mind is entangled in expectation, fear, or desire. The ears may hear, but the soul is distracted by thought. Detachment is not indifference. It is the conscious choice to witness fully without being pulled into the noise of impulse. By stepping back, the observer becomes aware of patterns, whispers of guidance, and the quiet movements of life that shape destiny. When practiced daily, detachment transforms perception. It allows a mind once scattered to settle, a heart once restless to open, and a spirit once distracted to align with deeper truths. Every event, no matter how small, becomes a teacher. Each moment of calm observation strengthens discipline, trains intuition, and reveals the hidden layers of reality. In the path of mastery, detachment is the lens that brings clarity. It reveals what was invisible to those caught in reaction, and it guides the chosen ones to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. The world moves quickly, yet in quiet observation, one discovers the spaces where insight dwells, subtle, profound, and always available to those willing to watch without grasping. Every breath carries a rhythm deeper than the mind can often perceive. In the quiet of inhalation and exhalation, there is a bridge between the body and the unseen currents of life. Shaolin masters understood that breath is not merely a biological function, but a vessel of awareness, a tool to anchor the mind in the present and to feel the subtle shifts that often go unnoticed. Each conscious inhale draws energy inward. Each mindful exhale releases distraction and tension, creating a space where clarity can emerge. Presence begins with breath. When attention is rooted in the simple act of breathing, the mind softens and opens. Thoughts settle, and awareness expands. Even the smallest sensations, a shift in the room, a fleeting intuition, the stirrings of unseen forces become perceptible. Breathwork trains the nervous system, aligns the body, and harmonizes the spirit, allowing experiences to integrate fully rather than pass by unobserved. Meditative traditions across time have recognized this truth. From slow, deliberate breathing in Shaolin forms to quiet meditation practices, the focus on breath is a practice of alignment, discipline, and receptive awareness. It reminds the practitioner that life is always in motion, yet the present moment is where mastery is cultivated. By returning consistently to the breath, one learns patience, subtlety, and the skill of noticing what is often overlooked. Daily cultivation of conscious breathing strengthens this connection. Pausing for a few intentional breaths before action, observing the rise and fall of the chest, or coordinating movement with breath, awakens sensitivity to the unseen influences that guide life. In this rhythm, the chosen ones find clarity, alignment, and insight. The breath becomes more than air, it becomes a teacher, a guide, and a bridge to deeper perception, revealing the quiet currents of life that exist just beyond ordinary awareness. Life offers countless moments where the unseen touches the seen, where energies shift beyond ordinary perception. Yet true mastery is revealed, not in the events themselves, but in how one responds. The greatest alchemy occurs in the space between stimulus and action, where conscious choice transforms ordinary experiences into growth, wisdom, and elevated understanding. The chosen ones move through life aware of this space, recognizing that even subtle energies carry lessons and opportunities for transformation. Each decision, however small, becomes a thread in the fabric of destiny, a moment of patience instead of reaction, a pause to observe rather than judge, a deliberate act of kindness. These are the choices that turn unseen influences into personal mastery. Energetic events that pass unnoticed by many are embraced by the aware, converted into insight, discipline, and spiritual refinement. In this way, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and life itself becomes a laboratory for alchemy. Journaling and reflection are tools of this inner work. By recording thoughts, emotions, and impressions, the mind begins to see patterns previously hidden. Reflection illuminates the subtle ways unseen forces have guided action, and conscious consideration of choices strengthens the ability to act with intention in the future. Intentional action, taken after thoughtful observation, transforms potential into reality. It is through this practice that one shapes not only the moment, but the trajectory of the self, moving closer to alignment with both inner wisdom and the flow of life. In the alchemy of life, nothing is wasted. Each energy, each subtle event, each quiet signal becomes raw material for growth when met with awareness, discipline, and conscious choice. The chosen ones do not wait for the world to reveal its lessons. They engage, observe, and act, turning the invisible into a path of mastery. By cultivating intentional living, the self becomes both the vessel and the guide, transforming experiences into clarity, understanding, and higher purpose. True mastery is not found in ideas alone, nor in fleeting moments of inspiration. It is forged in the daily practice of living with awareness, in the repetition of conscious actions that align body, mind, and spirit. Each habit, each thought, each choice becomes a brushstroke in the portrait of the self. The wisdom of Shaolin teaches that discipline, breath, mindfulness, and detachment are not separate tools, but threads woven into a single tapestry, a way of being that integrates inner understanding with outer life. The subtle events of last night, invisible to most, serve as a reminder that life's lessons are not abstract, they ripple through the ordinary, inviting the attentive to notice, respond, and embody their insights. The micro moments, the energy shifts, the whispers of guidance all become catalysts for integrating knowledge into lived experience. It is here, in the daily rhythm of practice, that theory transforms into mastery. Mindfulness keeps the mind present, attuned to what is unfolding. Discipline shapes the energy, guiding movement and thought with clarity. Breathwork anchors awareness in the body, while detachment allows observation without being ensnared by reaction. When combined, these practices form a living system, a framework for perceiving, understanding, and responding to both visible and unseen currents. Each component reinforces the others, creating a balance that strengthens insight and deepens mastery. Integration is not instantaneous. It grows quietly through repeated attention and deliberate practice. By observing how unseen energies influence life, responding with conscious choice, and embodying the principles of alignment and awareness, the chosen ones transform subtle lessons into lived wisdom. In this way, mastery is not an endpoint but a continuous flow, a way of moving through life fully awake, grounded, and capable of perceiving the hidden patterns that guide destiny. Each day becomes both practice and proof, each action a step toward the seamless embodiment of self-mastery.